the Solomon Tention podcast. I have with me Miss Latonia Hendry. How you doing today?
I am great. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Where you calling from?
Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, good. Savannah, Georgia. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. So, tell us about your story.
Well, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I am a domestic violence survivor, also a survivor of child abuse, sexual abuse as a child. So that's basically my platform. I advocate for women and children in that space of domestic violence, sexual violence, rape, any kind of sexual trauma.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And so, what inspired you to, um, take those experiences and build this platform?
Well, I had two choices. I could either wallow and feel sorry for myself, but I realized that I was not the only one. This is something that's not prejudiced to skin color or age or anything like that. So I made a decision to tell my story fully and honestly and truthfully, and really help women to see that there's life after any kind of trauma.
Yeah, yeah. And so tell us a little bit about what you do specifically.
I do. I have a nonprofit
Okay.
called Sisters Helping Sisters Social Organization for Women Incorporated, and we actually have a meeting today.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to be last Saturday, but Hurricane Ian was
Yeah.
supposed to hit
Yeah, I
us.
heard about that. Yeah.
And thankfully, it didn't,
Right.
but it kind of rolled everything. But
Yeah.
I do that. I have a podcast called A Woman's Soul Restored, which deals with those type issues that I aforementioned.
Yeah.
And I tell my story. I have guests on that tell their story in the hopes of helping somebody else to heal.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a published author of 5 books. I'm
Yeah.
a speaker, and I'm also an ordained minister.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I think that obviously you have turned purpose, you have turned some trauma and pain in its birth purpose in so many different platforms for you. So like how important do you think it is to heal? And right from now, this is just not just from the trauma you've experienced, but
Right. Yeah.
right. So from your experience and your knowledge, how important you think it is to heal, to do the purpose work? Like, why do you think there's a correlation there?
Yes, it's vital, because when you're hurting from something, you don't think you're worth anything. When you're hurting, you don't think that anybody value you, because at that moment you don't value yourself. So you don't have the unction to move forward with anything. You're kind of stunted in your growth. So until you heal and allow yourself to feel whatever pain you're feeling, to experience whatever you're experiencing, because some people have trauma from illnesses.
Yeah.
Some people have trauma from the loss of a job. So anything can give you trauma, but the it's situational, just to deal with it as soon as possible so that you can move forward, so that you can embrace your purpose, being whole and healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what inspires you to get up every day and do this work? Besides, I know that you talked about, the cause and how it's impacted you and helping other folks, obviously, but also what else inspires you just to keep going? Because I'm sure you have some days you're like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to host a meeting today. I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to. I'm sure you get tired sometimes.
Yes, I do. And the thing with that is your purpose has to be greater than your feeling.
Yeah.
So emotionally, we go through things. Physically, we go through things, but the purpose has to be greater than what you go through. You have to love what you're doing. So because I love advocating, because I love just people in general, I can look past what I go through. I was diagnosed with diabetes earlier this year, and some days are just really rough. But in the midst of that, I still have to get up. I still have to get going. I still have to do stuff because people depend on me.
Yeah.
So I can't lay back. Sometimes I do take personal time for myself, because you have to have that. You have to set time aside.
Yeah.
I also have a husband and a family, so I have to set time aside.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm doing, especially this month. But for me, domestic violence awareness is 12 months a year.
Yeah.
So it's more in October, but I'm always on the go. I'm always doing something. And I thank God for the strength to enable me to do what I do.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was really key. You talked about how your purpose needs to be something that's bigger than you, right? It can't
Yes,
be about you. And I
exactly.
think that sometimes we try to make our gifts about us. We try to
Yes,
make our purpose
yes,
about us, and that's something that I try to lean on too, because there are definitely moments with this platform to where, I still have a full time life and having to create
yes.
content and all of the work that comes with hosting two
Right,
podcasts. I'm like, man,
right.
I love what I do, but I'm tired. But it's people like you to give you this space to share your stories that's gonna
Yes.
continuously help others. That's what drives this podcast. So we thank you for the work that you do. And so, how can people connect with you? You got a website, Instagram. How can they connect with you to learn more about the work that you're doing?
I do have a website. It's www.livelifenow.lovelifenow.net. That is my purpose, for us to live life now, not postpone it.
Yeah,
So I know it's a long name, but the name has meaning.
yeah,
On Instagram, blessed all day, every day.
yeah,
I'm on Twitter. I'm on various platforms, and
yeah,
it's basically Latonia Hendry.
yeah,
So my books are on Amazon under author L.Y. Hendry. So it's various ways to reach out to me. I'm very approachable. I try to talk to anybody because I don't want to be standoffish.
yeah, yeah,
And just speaking from the Christian community, we've been labeled as being standoffish.
yeah, yeah,
And sometimes that label is fitting.
yeah,
But we have to embrace people where they are. We
yeah.
have to love them where they are, because somebody loved us where we were.
Right.
So the same grace that was embraced to us, we have to embrace to others.
Yeah,
And that's my philosophy for life. We have to love people right where they are. They might be in a situation where, especially with millennials,
yeah,
it's hard to just figure it out sometimes. What am
yeah,
I supposed to be doing?
yeah,
But it's okay. It's
yeah,
okay. People gotta love you in the spite of you trying to figure it out, and help you if possible to figure
yeah,
out what it is you're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
So love is key in
yeah,
this world that we live in this society that,
yeah,
it seems like love is obsolete, but love is still covers a multitude of various things. And we
yeah.
have to remember that we have to love people. We might not love what they do, but we have to love the person.
Yeah, I love that. Love people where they are. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Love people where they are. That's a hard thing to do sometimes. I mean, I can be
It
honest. I
is.
mean, nobody's perfect because sometimes we just want, I know I love them where they are, but if they could just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. And
Yeah,
that's that
yeah,
mold that we try to
yeah,
fit people in.
yeah.
And sometimes we're looking out for them.
Right, right.
But
We have their best interests. Right,
yeah,
right.
but we have to realize that everybody's different,
Yeah,
and we love them in
absolutely.
their differences, and they're not going to think like us. They
Yeah,
might think we're wrong sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So we want to approach them the same way we would want to be approached.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
through love, and that's accepting them until they can do better. Because sometimes people doing the best they can, and they're doing what they know.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. I love your humility, and I love how you're using your story and your experiences to help others. And so we're so excited and proud that we get some of your time, and we want to
Thank you.
definitely continuously plug your brand. And thank you very much for being a guest on Solomon Tention podcast, and much
Oh,
much success.
thank you for the platform. Thank you for all that you do, because I've really been looking through your videos, and you're a busy young man. So just thank you. Just keep going and stay encouraged, because I know it's tiring.
Yeah.
So just keep going, because you're affecting a lot of people.
Thank you so much. Thank